Explained. Appreciate it, Ari.
Thanks, Chuck.
So let me turn to tonight's panel. National political reporter for Real Clear Politics, Rebecca Berg. Matthew Continetti, editor at the Washington Free Beacon and a contributing editor to the Weekly Standard, and Democratic strategist Jamal Simmons. Well, there you go. Do you feel like we're boned up enough yet? I feel like we're going to learn a lot more.
Right?
Yeah.
It'll be simple.
This is the law of unintended consequences, all because of Ron Paul. They're now sitting in a situation where Trump could basically squeeze everybody out.
He could. And we're in a situation really where we don't know even what the rules are going to be at this convention. So it's really tough to predict what is going to happen, how crazy it's going to get. We're in a situation where even the RNC members and leaders and the Republican Party leaders like Paul Ryan are having to bone up on these rules themselves. These rules have never been put to the test, never really been studied closely in modern politics. So it's very interesting.
And Matthew, we live in an age where we're so distrustful of institutions. We're so distrustful of this idea that there is a special set of rules that nobody knows about. So wait a minute, all those votes I just did, this could be the ultimate playing into the hands of Donald Trump in a way that you never thought you were playing into his hands.
I also love how the ghost of Ron Paul is going to haunt the 2016 Republican
And the fact that they were so obsessed, this was all because they didn't want his name in nomination.
There's been so many poetic ironies of this election cycle so far. Here's another one. But look, I'm more skeptical of the contested convention than I think a lot of other people are.
I woke up today feeling the same way.
I think the way that the inertia of this race is heading, the fact that Kasich won't get out, the fact that the debates are effectively over, the fact that you see the somewhat conservative voters in state after state moving toward Donald Trump, I think he'll have the 1237 by June.
That's my sense, too. However, it's funny how watching today, there's been this feeling, and, even the anti-Trump forces, Jamal, seem to be not sure what to do.
Yeah.
He is a guy that feels like a shark to me. If he's not moving, he's dead. So if suddenly people are not paying as much attention, that's when he could start losing primaries.
He could start losing primaries. He could also start losing his cool because Trump likes to do things that are going to engender more attention, as you like to say. He's an applause junkie, so he's going to be looking out for this. I think whichever way this shakes out, there's going to be 20–30% of the Republican Party that is really not happy with the result, whether he is the nominee or he is not the nominee, which is a good thing for Democrats who are looking to pick up some votes.
But this goes to the broader thing that I want to. It feels as if the party is. They have prisoner's dilemma type choices. Both are bad options. Denying Trump creates a problem with his supporters. Giving it to him creates a problem with swing voters.
And denying Trump, then you have Ted Cruz waiting in the wings, and a lot of Republicans aren't happy with that either. And so there's really no good option at this stage, and I think Republicans are coming to the realization increasingly that any anti-Trump efforts that they're mounting are too little and too late, and that they should have tackled this problem a lot earlier than they're tackling it right now.
What do you do if you're Rob Portman? What do you do if you're Ron Johnson? What do you do if you're Pat Toomey?
Well, I have a contrarian view of this. I think if Trump is the nominee and you're Portman, you're Toomey, you're a senator in a state around the Great Lakes, you hug Donald Trump, and you hope that you get some of these voters that are new to the political process who feel aggrieved because of globalization. You get them to vote for him. It's a vote for you because they're voting for him.
So you would advise them to hug him a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they won't do it because, like many Republicans and conservatives, they're probably deeply offended by what Donald Trump represents. But like you say, it's a prisoner's dilemma, and the most likely outcome, in my view, is you're going to lose either way. The only chance of survival, I think, is if you say, you know what, I understand it, you're angry, and I'm going to be with the nominee.
And Jamal, Democrats have faced this issue themselves before, not like this. The decision to run away from a nominee or to run with them. Running away never works.
Never works.
I'm sorry. Yes, there's always the example of one or two that survive, and everybody says, genius, and you're like, no. You were just the statistical anomaly.
And it's even more so true now because as the parties have divided up and people have gone to their corners, there are much fewer swing voters than there used to be. People declare themselves as independents, but they really are either Democrats or they're Republicans.
Can I just tell you, I was looking today for that Republican who survived in 2008 or the Democrat that survived it, in 2004. It takes 2004. You had a Ken Salazar and Barack Obama won. Ken Salazar was the best example of a Democrat who won a Senate seat in a state carried by Bush. That didn't really exist in 2008. You couldn't find any examples in 2012. I mean, it is interesting now. We are more. We are moving more in that direction.
The benefit that we get, though, benefit that we get for having Donald Trump is that you don't have to educate voters about who Donald Trump is. If Ted Cruz is the nominee, Democrats will spend millions of dollars trying to tell them who he is and why he's bad. You can walk up to any bartender or any barber, and they will tell you about Donald Trump.
Their own pros and cons.
Absolutely.
Even if they're voting for him, they know their cons.
I mean, if the polls that we're seeing right now hold in November, this is a wave bigger than the one in 2008. And so you will have surprises, not only on like the a Salazar, surviving or whatever. You'll have people like Rand Paul, I believe. His seat.
He couldn't survive
because you're having 20 to 30% of the Republican Party not showing up.
Trump will also drive Democratic turnout too, though.
This is why, though, it might be worth taking it away from at the convention.
It might be, absolutely. And I think that's why Republicans are hoping and pushing for the contested convention outcome, because they see a Kasich or a Cruz taking a contested convention as a much better path
Just want
for their
another
party.
option. And it's like, keep the options open.
But then, as you said, they might not even make it there.
All right. You guys are going to